good afternoon to everyone. Yes, I am actually in Antigua at the moment. I've established my office, my home base in Antigua, and we are a citizenship by investment consultancy firm, and we offer, our main product definitely is Antigua and Barbuda. We specialize in it, and today I'm happy to speak with you guys about leveraging your financial assets to ensure the global freedom and legacy of your family. I mean, everyone is looking for something that is afforded and something that is worth what you're paying for. And definitely Caribbean citizenship and Antigua citizenship has definitely been one of the hot topics for the last couple of years. So I will be speaking with you guys a little bit about it. I have prepared a small presentation for you so you can understand it a bit more. Before I start, I just want to let everyone know that I am actually a licensed agent, locally licensed agent here in Antigua. So I am the one that will process applications. I am a direct link to the government to submit applications. We're not an intermediary company. So we are well trained and versed in the process. And, we assist you from the beginning to the end. Just a little bit about Antigua. Antigua is land of 365 beaches, an amazing vacation spot, an amazing place to live. And it is a paradise. You call our passport a passport to paradise. So with that said, let me begin my presentation. Again, my company's name is Exclusive Concierge, and we do specialize in citizenship by investment. And today I'll be talking to you about 4 different parts. The first one is everyone needs to know where they're buying. Where is Antigua and Barbuda located? The second part, factors influencing investors. The third part, 4 options to choose from. So all of the citizenship options, I will go through them one by one briefly and just give you a brief rundown on how someone can apply and the fees associated with citizenship. So the 4 need to knows. So Antigua and Barbuda, it is located in the northern part of the Caribbean chain in Central America. It's about a 2.5-hour flight from Miami, about 4 hours from Toronto, and 8 hours from the United Kingdom. We have daily direct flights throughout the year. Unfortunately, as everyone is aware, the COVID situation has put a hold on a lot of things, including our tourism. So flights are not as frequent. However, the airport and the borders are completely open again since June 4th. And we have had that situation under control with under 100 cases. Antigua has fared really well. And because of the COVID, actually the program did a little bit of restructuring. Some of the things that you can notice with the citizenship program now here in Antigua is that the program is now allowing online submissions through your locally appointed agent. So we're no longer waiting to submit applications when documents have arrived. We noticed during the COVID situation, packages, DHL, FedEx, were taking quite a long time to ship. In some places, it was taking up to over 2 weeks. So the online portal has really opened up our submission times and shortened the entire application process. Also, because of the COVID situation, the government has allowed us to actually submit electronic files, electronic applications up until we have the physical file, and only at that point in time the file will provide a payment for the file. So when we submit the electronic file, actually the file has already started to process before you even pay for it. So that is a new development through the COVID process, and it has been getting a lot of traction with investors, and they seem to really like that. So here it is. What is influencing a second citizenship here in Antigua and Barbuda? Well, there are a few factors. And the first factor, which is the largest factor, which is access and mobility. Antigua has a passports visa index of 151 countries. The second one is financial security, taxation. Antigua is a tax-free jurisdiction, so you won't be taxed on your worldwide income. So although persons may obtain a passport for access and mobility, you're not required to pay taxes in the country that you live in. If you do decide to relocate here, again, it is a tax-free jurisdiction. There is no income tax on your personal incomes or anything. So it's not a passport that's going to actually charge you later on after your purchase. The third reason, personal security. This is another reason that persons you see from certain countries get a passport, avoiding wars, discrimination. So you're getting a lot of these different applications. One application that we get quite a lot, mostly from European and North American countries, is a retirement, because they are looking to relocate, spend their golden years in the Caribbean. As I've told you, it is a paradise. So a lot of people want to come here and call this home after a while. And then the final reason is university. Now, although the Caribbean is not known for a big university destination, we do have a very well-accredited university here in Antigua. It is also in 3 other Caribbean islands. It's called the University of the West Indies. And some persons actually do get a passport so that they can attend and can enjoy lower rates and benefits through the university. Also, with this university reason, persons tend to get it for their kids so that they can attend international schools, depending on the country they're in. So you're seeing those 5 reasons that persons are getting citizenship mostly. Now, there are 4 options to choose from. We could talk about these 4 options like in depth, because you want to pick the correct option as an investor. So what will basically benefit you, benefit your pocketbook, and also what is your outcome, what is your goal? So the first option is the National Development Fund, which is basically a donation to the government, a monetary donation. The second option we'll discuss is the approved real estate investment, where you can purchase into properties. There are a few different ways you can purchase properties here, and you can enjoy return on investment, your return on your investments. The third option is the University of the West Indies, which is the most recent option to be launched and is probably one of the hottest options at the moment, which I'll get into shortly. And the last option, which is the approved business investment. The approved business investment is more of for the business person who is looking for a second citizenship and also looking to make a substantial investment into a large business, and these large businesses tend to be international businesses based here. So we'll go through those shortly. So the first one, the National Development Fund. So the National Development Fund is a minimum contribution amount. As I said, it is a donation, so it's unfortunately a non-recoverable option. And that option for 1 to 4 family members is an investment of $100,000. For 5 or more persons on an application, it will be 125,000. Before I continue, let me explain what an application can consist of. It can consist of a main applicant, a father, a wife, a husband and a wife, kids under the age of 28, or parents. It could be parents of the main applicant or parents of the spouse over the age of 58. So your investments is in the form of a one-time payment. So imagine you're investing for your future, for your kids, for your family, for mobility, and it's only in the form of a one-time payment of 100,000. It's nothing yearly or every couple of years. It's a one-time investment, and this is full citizenship. They are government fees and government due diligence fees applied to this. Which we'll get into it a little later. The approved real estate investment. It's a minimum investment in an approved property. This investment does not require co-applications. Something is actually missing. Sorry, 200,000. It's a 200,000 option. So you'll be purchasing a share in a property. It could be a share of a unit, or it could be a share of a property with about 50 units, or it could be a share of a luxury mansion, a property with luxury mansions. So it depends on what you're looking for. If you are purchasing a share of a title deed, a unit, you do not have to have a co-investor at the moment. We can assist to get that co-investor. Actually, we will help to find that co-investor. And the minimum investment will be 200,000. The investment in Antigua for real estate must be kept for a minimum of 5 years and can be resold after. Now, depending on the property a person purchases, will depend on your return on investments. The real estate option actually came about. It was invented in the Citizenship by Investment program to enhance the tourism sector, to provide more rooms for visitors to the island. So persons are purchasing properties, they're able to stay in the property yearly. They're buying it as vacation homes, just like in Greece. And they are able to collect returns as the property is being rented. So it proves to be a good option because it's also a recoverable option, because after the 5-year period, you're able to sell this property. Depending on if you wanted to do a full title deed to buy a full property unit, then the prices can vary anywhere above 200,000. Like I said, the minimum investment in this option is 200,000. So just quickly, some approved properties that we actually promote. We have South Point, which is in English Harbor, Depp Bay Villas, again in English Harbor, and Tamron Hills, which is located on the west side, closer to the Jolly Harbor area. Now, all of these properties are open for visitor stays, short-term visitors to the island. Depp Bay Villas is actually a very unique property amongst them. It is a self-contained unit, so persons can actually stay there for a very long time. It is fully furnished. It has it's built so that you could live there. It has everything that you will require. Whereas the other two properties are more vacation homes for a 2-week, 3-week period, and the same for Depp Bay, more flexible. And again, these properties, they have different starting points. I will tell you a little bit about the Depp Bay starting point. It is at 200,000. And you're seeing, because of its location, English Harbor is known for sailing in the Caribbean, a very famous sailing port. And a lot of high net worths park, dock, anchor their yachts in English Harbor for the tourist season, and while they are chartering, the crew will stay on island, and they tend to usually pick that bay because it's right on the beach and it's facing the harbor. South Point, another very exclusive hotel, a very high-end hotel, and it's right in the heart of English Harbor. A beautiful option for a property also. And then finally, Tamarind Hills. Tamarind Hills is an amazing property, very modern, and an oasis in paradise. I can give persons more information about each of the properties as they request. Just want to go through it briefly with you. Now, the third option, which has been the very popular option recently, is the University of the West Indies option. It's an investment in education. Now, this investment is for $150,000. Now, why has it become so popular? Well, it's for a minimum of 6 family members, and I did explain that a family can consist of a husband and wife. It could consist of 4 kids, all under the age of 28, or it can consist of 4 parents, all over the age of 58. So very, very good option for persons who are looking to save on their costs for citizenship. Now, one of the reasons why this is a great option for a family of 6, minimum 6 members, is because all of the government processing fees, unlike the other options, this one already includes the processing fees. So all of the fees are already included. Whereas if you look at the donation for 4 family members of $100,000, which I'll explain a bit more later, would be an extra $30,000. So for 4 persons, you're already at $130,000. For 5 persons, it will be $125,000 for the investment, and then $30,000 more for the government processing fees, plus an additional $15,000 for that extra 5th person. But we will go through this, and you'll see that this option, including your parents, including all of your kids, will be indeed the best option. Now, this option actually entitles someone in the application, 1 member, free tuition for 1 year at the University of the West Indies. Now, this free tuition opportunity is not mandatory to have or to obtain citizenship and to keep citizenship. So if you do purchase this option, it's not mandatory that you do attend the university. Now, you do not have to have kids in this application. Because you hear university, you tend to think younger people. It can be, like I said, a husband and wife and 4 parents, each of their parents, or it could be 4 kids under the age of 10, and we know they're not ready for university. So an amazing option, and to be honest, it is one of the busier options in Caribbean citizenship right now because of this. The approved business investment, like I said earlier, it is more of an investment, and you're seeing an investment in an approved business in the amount of $5 million. If it's a single applicant, or when I say a single applicant, a family application, it will be 1.5 million. If you wanted to do a joint investment with a friend or 4 other friends, the minimum will be 5 million into an approved business. Now, that approved 5 million business, each investment must not be under 400,000 per main applicant. So let me try and explain this a little bit easier for you to understand. If you apply with 2 other friends, the minimum investment for each person must be 400,000, but you must total 5 million. So if you have a large group, your minimum investment will be 5 million, and then it can be broken down. But once the payments come on island for each application, the minimum sent for the investment for an application would be $400,000. And the fees associated with citizenship. So the passport fees per family member is $300. The processing fees, like I mentioned to you a little bit earlier, is $30,000. So this is for up to 4 persons. And then any additional person after that would be $15,000. So for a quick example, if you had a family of 4 persons, the investment is $100,000, and the government processing fees for up to those 4 persons is $30,000. If it was less than the 4 persons, it still remains at $30,000. If you have an investment or an application for 5 family members, the government processing fees will be $30,000 plus the additional dependent $15,000. These options, all of these family options tend to make Antigua and Barbuda, even with these fees, still the cheapest family program on the market. With all programs, you always hear about due diligence fees. For the Antigua program, the main applicant will pay $7,500 US. The spouse will pay the same, $7,500. Dependents between the ages of 12 to 17 will pay $2,000. Dependents 18 plus, that will include your parents or grandparents or anyone over the age of 58, $4,000. Anyone below the age of 11 and under are free from due diligence fees. I will come back to the university option so you can understand again. The only fees that will be applicable with this option, this $150,000 option for the university option, would be the passport fees and the due diligence fees. Again, it is up to 6 family members, but you do not have to worry about the processing fees for up to the 6 family members. If you do have 7 family members, which is quite common in certain parts, then you will pay that additional dependent processing fee of $15,000 per addition. So again, the reason why that option has become very popular is because a family of 6 can get citizenship here in Antigua for approximately $190,000. And that is by far one of the cheapest options on the market. Again, if you were to look at the family of 4 option, application with couples, a husband and wife, again, it is still the cheapest option. Anything over 2 persons, you cannot find a cheaper option on the market for a donation program. Now, these processing fees and due diligence fees are applicable to the real estate option and the business option. And obviously, if you are approved, the passport fees. I will briefly tell you about the 2-part payment. To submit an application, persons are required to pay 10% of the processing fees to start the application process, and they must pay all of the due diligence fees. They are only required to pay any of the investments after they've been approved for citizenship, and the passport fees will be required after they've been approved, once you've gotten that approval letter. Now, the processing fees of 10%, which has already been paid, leaves back 90%. That is only due if the client has been approved. So it does not require a large investment to start your application. And again, it makes it very flexible for persons to apply. And you can start this process, like I said, online. We start it online. We submit the application online. We will then submit the physical file with the payments, and then within about 3 months, you will get an approval, or you will get an outcome of the application, the file, whether you've been approved, you've been declined, or there is a slight delay because of your due diligence. And usually you tend to, if you have no issues, you can have your passports within the 3 to 4 month period. So it's a very fast, very, very affordable. And again, it's an amazing document for families to have. It's security, it's mobility, and it's a peace of mind, and it's a passport to paradise. So again, it's a great investment for the future of your family and for yourself. It works great for business persons, great for families, and it can serve many purposes. Now, our offices are located in Antigua, like I mentioned to you. We're based in Antigua. I'm based in Antigua. When there's no COVID, you can find me a lot of the time over in China, in our Shanghai office, and in our Vietnam office over there in Ho Chi Minh City. I think that will be it, and I would love to entertain any questions.
Well, thanks a lot, Kevin. That was really impressive to hear about Antigua and Barbuda. And it's nice to see that these countries also advancing and has a great market and can attract many people. This leads to the first question. Does it also attract people from the Arab countries and from Iran, or is it more difficult for them?
Yes, it can attract, it attracts a lot of persons worldwide. The Iranian application is, or Iranian investors are a little bit more difficult. Currently, we do not accept Iranian investors. Hopefully one day that will change. We're not able to get funds, and we are not able to conduct due diligence in that jurisdiction. That's not the only jurisdiction that we have issues collecting applications from. However, the difference in these jurisdictions, I can tell you, for example, Afghanistan, North Korea, Sudan, Yemen, these countries, although we do not accept nationals living in those countries, but if they are living in certain countries, you will tend to find you can accept them once they're living in Europe, they're living in the UAE. So if they have moved within and living abroad more than 10 years, we can accept those nationalities, but unfortunately, Iranians at the moment, we cannot. Sorry, I can't hear you.
Now I guess you could hear me. Well, thank you. That, of course, is not so good news for the Iranians living here in Dubai for the time being, but I do hope that will open up again as it was in the past. Your country is called Antigua and Barbuda. There's a question. Are also people going to Barbuda, or is the majority mostly interested in Antigua?
Sorry, can you repeat that? You were breaking up a little bit.
Your place is called Antigua and Barbuda.
Correct, yes.
Are there also people going to Barbuda, or they're mostly Antigua?
Okay, Barbuda is a sister island. So it's one nation, Antigua and Barbuda. Antigua is 108 square miles, whereas Barbuda is smaller in size with a lot less population. Barbuda is not as developed as Antigua. Antigua is one of the more developed OECS islands, which are of the 5 islands in the Caribbean that offer citizenship. Persons tend to go to Barbuda for vacations, on nature trips. The government currently is now turning Barbuda into 100% green. So the energy, everything surrounding Barbuda will be eco. So it's more of a tourist, quick destination. Antigua has a lot more resorts, and but yes, you can go to Barbuda on day trips. It's a 45-minute ferry ride, and you do not need to clear immigration between the two. Antigua has the international airport, so you know, if you come to Antigua, I will definitely urge you to go and at least spend a day in Barbuda.
Okay, thank you. And then there's another question concerning families. Up to what age children are considered children? Up to 18, 21, or?
Right. up to the age of 28. So any child under the age of 28. However, a child over the age of 18, you must be able to show that you are supporting the child and the child is being supported, preferably through, if they're in university, they will have to show that they are in university. That's the best way. Many reasons you could show that you're supporting your child, but once they are supported over the age of 18, they are definitely eligible for this program.
Okay, thank you. And then another question is, the passport, does it show the place of birth? That means somebody from Syria will show that he is born in Damascus, or is that replaced with something else?
No, it is required to show the place of birth. Yes, you will see the place of birth in the passport.
Okay, then the passport, is it completely the same as any local who has been living there or is there since 100 years? Is exactly the same with voting rights and everything? Or is it kind of a British system where you have a British passport, but perhaps you're living somewhere else and it has less rights and so on?
Yeah, that's a great question. The Antigua passport, once you've obtained it through the Citizenship by Investment program, is actually just like being a birth citizen. You have voting rights. The requirement for a person voting, whether you're born here or you're born abroad, you must be on island and establish residency, living on island with a proof of address for longer than 30 days. And then you're able to register to vote. So it's actually the exact same. You're not getting a different passport. It's not a travel document. You can participate in anything on the island. You can participate in any of the social programs that the government provides. If you come and live here, you will enjoy, if you were to buy local property, you will enjoy the fact that you do not have to pay an alien tax. So there are a lot of benefits to a passport. Many investors who look to invest in large properties here tend to quickly get a passport so they can avoid such holdbacks, because applying for an alien license can take a few months. And again, I mentioned it earlier, persons who are looking to relocate here when they've retired, they look to buy this or obtain this passport because they get away from the alien taxes associated with the property or the properties that they are going to buy. So it is 100% the exact same as a local passport, a local person's passport.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. Then just a personal comment. I lived in the Caribbean for quite a while, and I was also quite a few times in Antigua, but I don't remember having seen anybody with a jacket at that time. Are you just dressing up for this conference call, or is that the normal way now?
Yes, I'm actually dressing up for the call. Usually, you know, it's a tropical place, so we have on short sleeves, but even short pants sometimes. But the AC in my office is a bit cold, so I don't mind having it on today.
Okay. Well, thank you, Kevin. That's really impressive.